Okay, guys, we're on quarter 4, week 2, day 3 now. All right, so we're going to multiply and divide. All right, when we're multiplying, we don't have to line up decimals. We just have to take them into consideration at the end. All right, so there's that times 0.85 multiply. All right, so we have 5 times 2, which is 10. Take care of that. 5 times 0, which is 0, plus 1 more is 1. 5 times 7 is 35. All right, now we're done with the 5. So we'll just put a little space there. Let's do the 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Put the 6 there, carry the 1. 8 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 8 times 7, or 7 times 8 is 56. So we have the 56 here. All right, and then we can do the 0. We could put like a x here and an x here, and then just put a bunch of zeros. But that's kind of unnecessary. Okay, so we just go ahead and add this. We have 0. 6 plus 1 is 7. 5 and 1 is 6. 6 and 3 is 9, and then a 5. How many places do we have to move over as far as a decimal? 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So we're going to move the decimal over 1, 2, 3, 4 places, which ends up being 5.967, and we could put the 0 if we want to. All right, so there it is, 5.967. All right, let's go ahead and do the division problem. Okay, so once again, when you're dividing, you have to make sure that the divisor is not a decimal. So you can see that I changed the 2.1 and changed it into a 21, right? So that's what you have to do. You have to get rid of that decimal. And whatever you did to the divisor, you have to do it to the dividend. So you can see that the decimal was moved over one place inside as well. Okay, so how many times does 21 go into 5? It doesn't. Can 21 go into 53? Yeah, I would say 3 times, right? 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Oh, no, I can't do 3. What was I thinking? I can do 2, right? 2 times 1 is 2. I remember what I was doing. I was thinking I can't do 3, and I just wrote it down. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Now we subtract this. Okay, this makes more sense. 3 minus 2 is 1. 5 minus 4 is 1. Bring down the 7. Can 21 go into 117? I'd say 21 is close to 25, and 4 25s is 100, 5 25s is 125. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be 5 because it's only 21. So 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtracting that. 7 minus 5 is 2. 1 minus 0 is 1. Bring down the 6. All right, how many times does 21 go into 126? Maybe 6 times? Let's try that. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Well, that was a pretty good choice, right? Because that leaves us with 0. We just bring the decimal up. The answer is 25.6. Okay, that's all you have to do for that one. Is 25.6. Jared made 4 birdhouses in 3 days. How many days will Jared work to make 20 birdhouses? Okay, so let's put 20 over here. Is there a way to get directly from 4 to 20? Because we're going to go from 4 birdhouses to 20 birdhouses. Yeah, there is a number that you can multiply times 4 to get 20, because it's 4 times 5, right? So we're just basically going to scale this up by 5 times, because 4 times 5 is 20. If it took him 4 days or 4 houses, 3 days to do 4 houses, we can figure this out by doing 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, so to do 20 houses, it's going to be 15 days. So how many days will Jared work to make the birdhouse? To make 20 birdhouses? The answer is 15 days. And that's our answer. Solve for z. Okay, this one should be pretty quick and painless, right? So we have z plus 7, or 17 on this side and a 38 on this side. So you have to get the z by itself. The way to do that is do the opposite operation of what's happening right there. So right there is a plus 17. So obviously the opposite of that is going to be to subtract. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to subtract 17 from both sides. All right, so on this side we have a positive 17 and a negative 17. Those cancel out, become 0, right? So the only thing we have left on this side is a z, and then we have that. On the other side we have 38 minus 17, and that equals 21. So z equals 21. And to double check that, you could probably just put in 21 plus 17. And if you do 21 plus 17, you're going to get 38, right? So 21 plus 17 equals 38. So we know that that's absolutely correct, that z equals 21. Find the rule and solve for n. All right, so let's see. What happens to 23 to go down to a 16? So we know we're either going to have to subtract probably or divide to get down there. I think I have a pretty good idea looking at all the different numbers on here that I am pretty sure that if you subtract 7, okay, so if you have 23 minus 7, that is 16. If you do 25 minus 7, that's 18. If you do 32 minus 7, that is 25. So what seems to be happening every single time here? Yep, so the rule is a minus 7. So y is going to be whatever x is minus 7. So that's our rule. And if that's our rule, then we have to do 28 minus 7. Okay, and if you do 28 minus 7, that gives you 21. So n is equal to 21. All right, there's our rule. Y equals x minus 7, and n equals 21. The post office is now calculating the volume of packages to determine the shipping cost. The box measures 8.5 inches long, 5 1/4 inches wide, and 7 inches high. So 8.5 would be here. 5 1/4. That's kind of tricky than putting it down there. So 5 1/4 wide, 5 1/4. Again, these are all in inches, and 7 inches high. Okay, so we're going to have to go ahead and multiply this, right? Length times width times height. So we're going to have, let's say, 5 1/4 times 7 times 8.5. Okay, so then let's change these mixed numbers into improper fractions so we can work with them. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 more is 21. So we have 21 over 4. 7 is just going to be 7 over 1. And then 8 times 2 is 16, plus 1 more is 17 over 2. All right, it doesn't look like we can do any cross-reducing or anything like that, so let's just do the multiplication across it. 21 times 7 times 17 equals 2,499. Okay. Then down at the bottom, we have 4 times 2, which is 8. Let's see, 2,499 divided by 8. So 8 will go into it 312 times. 312. Okay, so let's take 312 times 8, and that gives us 2,496. So what's the difference between 2,499 and 2,496? Well, that would be 3, right, out of 8. So the answer is 312 and 3/8, and it's going to be in inches. What? Because it's volume, it's going to be in inches cubed. Okay, so I didn't have room to write all that in there, but 312 and 3/8 inches cubed. Find the mean absolute deviation of the set of data. All right, here's our data, 9, 12, 3, 5, and 8. I like to put it in order from least to greatest at all times, so I rewrote it, 3, 5, 8, 9, 12. Same numbers, just in order from least to greatest. Okay, to find the mean, guys, we have to find the mean first. We have to add them all up and divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers in the data set. So we have 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 9 plus 12. That equals 37. So then we're going to take 37 and we're going to divide it by 5. Okay, 37 divided by 5. And that's going to give us, what was that? 37 divided by 5 equals 7.4. Okay, so our mean is 7.4. Okay, so that's great. So that's our average is 7.4. But to get mean absolute deviation, remember what you're going to have to do is subtract every number in the data set minus 7.4. Well, I already have them rewritten or pre-written over here to kind of make it just a little bit faster. And we'll add or subtract 7.4 from all of them. Okay, so now that we have all that lined up, let's do each one. 12 minus 7.4, and that equals 4.6. Okay, and then we're going to take 9 minus 7.4, and that equals 1.6. Now we're going to take 8 minus 7.4, and that's going to just be 0.6. Then we take 5 minus 7.4, and that gives us negative 2.4. But remember, we're not worried about whether it's positive or negative. We just want to know how far away it is. 3 minus 7.4 equals negative 4.4. But again, who cares if it's negative? And then we just add these up. All right. So then we have 6 and 6 and 6, which is 6 times 3 is 18 plus 8. 18 plus 8 equals 26. So we have a 6 here, bring up to 2. And then we have, let's see, 4, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 there. So we'll just bring down the decimal. We have 13.6 is the total. Now we have to divide that by what? 13.6 divided by 5, because that's how many numbers are in the data set. So 13.6 divided by 5 is 2.72. So our mean absolute deviation is 2.72. And again, what that means is, on average, okay, you find the mean, and then on average, it would be normal to have 2.72 higher than the mean or 2.72 lower than the mean. That would be your mean absolute deviation. All right, there we go with that one. Rewrite this non-statistical question as a statistical question. How old is my mother? Okay, well, that would just be one number, right? There's no variance to that. So what if you asked 20 kids, how old is your mom? Okay, so they're probably going to have a lot of different answers on that. So maybe we could just write that down. We asked 20 random kids, how old is your mother? That would be statistical. Graph the integer 2 and its opposite on the number line. Here's the integer 2. The opposite is the same distance on the other side of the 0. There's the answer. That's all there is to that one. Graph the ordered pair -1, 3 and reflection over the y-axis. So here's the y-axis. Okay, -1. So we're going to go -1. So that's to the left. And then up 3. 1, 2, 3. So it would go right there. All right. And then to reflect it over the y-axis, it's just going to go 1 on the opposite side. So there it is. -1, 3 has been graphed and then reflected over the y-axis. That's where it would go. And that's all you have to do for that one.